Slippery when wet. It had been a few weeks since Trevor's accident, and winter was approaching, and the wind and rain had picked up immensely along the fog. Trevor has since been mended and was working in the field near the orchard when a figure strolled up to him and Jem through the fog. It was the vicar.
Good news, you two. The great steam fair is coming to town tomorrow. Rather short notice, but they would love for Trevor to be part of the show.
Well, Trevor, what do you say?
Asked Jem.
I'd love to,
Replied Trevor.
but let's avoid crashing into any houses along the way, shall we?
He chuckled nervously. They soon wrapped up their work, and Jem reversed Trevor back to his shed.
Finished so soon, are we, Jem?
Inquired Trevor.
Right so, Trevor. It's hard to see what you're doing in this fog. We'll just call it a day and get up early tomorrow for the steam fair.
All right then, Jem. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Trevor.
Replied Jem as he tried his best to see where he was going through the fog. With that, Trevor was left there sitting in the shed, excited for the events tomorrow had to bring. He woke up early that morning to see Jem in a long-sleeve shirt under his red vest.
Is that all you're wearing? It's rather chilly, wouldn't you say?
Never mind that. We're gonna be late if we don't go now.
Right. Onwards to the fair.
Cried a joyful Trevor. They had made good time and arrived about 45 minutes after the gates had opened. Trevor looked all around when
Benson. Sebastian. Nelson.
Trevor spotted some old friends of his.
Over there, Jem. My old friends.
Jem steered Trevor towards the trio of traction engines and parked beside them. The other three traction engines were overjoyed to see their old friend, and the four wasted no time catching up. Trevor even mentioned his incident with the house. Sebastian had found this rather funny.
Oh, silly Trevor. Leave the knock-knocking to the salesman. We traction engines aren't built for that sort of thing.
Trevor didn't mind this because he knew he was only teasing. But Benson and Nelson were offended.
Really? We haven't seen our dear friend here in years. That's the first thing you say to him?
Snapped Nelson.
The nerve of some engine.
Agreed Benson.
Oh, don't get your flywheel in a rust, Nielsen. It's only a joke. Although I'm still quite confused as to how it all happened.
He chuckled.
Oh, I'll explain later. But enough about that. Come on, chaps. The rally's about to start.
Make sure you don't run into any more houses, old-timer.
Laughed Sebastian. Trevor just rolled his eyes and followed the crowd. Even he was starting to get tired of his brother's teasing. The rally led out of the field and into the streets so others could see them in all their glory. The route took them across a bridge. Wind and rain had caused the pavement to become very slippery, so the engines had to take great care of crossing it. A sign read, "Slippery when wet." Sebastian took no notice of the sign as he crossed the bridge. To make matters worse, he was still thinking about Trevor's story and not keeping a good lookout.
Whoa! Whoa! What's happening?
Trevor rounded a bend to see Sebastian slip and slide across the roadway. His wheels scraped along the wall of the bridge.
Oh!
He yelled in horror. To make matters worse, Sebastian could see James in the distance coming up fast. He was frantic.
Help me! Help me!
Quick, Jem, get me closer to Sebastian and break out some rope.
Without thinking twice, Jem drove him as quickly yet safely as possible to the wreck. He attached one end of the rope to Trevor's front and the other end to Sebastian's bunker. He then put sand underneath his wheels, and Trevor pulled as hard as he could. Wind and rain came at him like buckets. The rain stung, but Trevor wouldn't give up. last, he pulled a quite shaken and ashamed Sebastian back up his own four wheels, just as James rushed under. He didn't say a word as the cavalcade headed back to the field, but it was only when they approached the show grounds that Nelson broke the awkward silence.
I was thinking that falling off that bridge might not have been so bad. You'd have a nice ride on one of those trucks, eh, Sebastian?
He teased.
Or better yet, a nice ride on those rails, double-heading that red engine's train.
Cut in Benson cheekily.
That would have been a sight to see.
Neither Trevor nor Sebastian found this funny.
I'm sorry I've been so swanky.
He faltered.
But you know what? I promise never to tease you about crashing into things again.
That's all right.
Trevor sympathized.
I too was a little cocky before my accident.
Really? You? Cocky?
Yes.
Replied Trevor.
Which reminds me, I haven't told you the full story now, have I? Well, allow me to do so.
And the other traction engines listened happily to Trevor's story.
You know, I've missed all of you, and today really reminded me of the good old days, in a lot of ways. Oh, I wish we could do this more often.
Nelson, Benson, and especially Sebastian wholeheartedly agreed.